comment. At this time, we will have public comment on any topic. Anyone wishing to speak on any topic may do so at this time. Please address the council at the microphone, pronounce your name, spell it, and please give your address.
Hi, my name is Ari Margolis, A-R-I-M-A-R-G-O-L-I-S.
And I'm sorry, your last name?
M-A-R-G-O-L-I-S.
Thank you.
I live on 1 Vassar Court.
Vassar Court?
Vassar, V-A-S-S-A-R.
Thank you.
I came tonight to talk about the ordinance before the court. Beforehand, I'll just say that I moved into Jackson in August of 2016. I have to say that my neighbors, the people around me, they accepted me and my family very nicely, and I'm proud to be a member of the Jackson community. I guess everyone else agrees with me here on that point. That being said, as a grandchild of a survivor, I cannot be quiet, and as a grandson of someone who fought for the flag in World War II, I must speak up. This law or ordinance that's before us that does not allow dormitories in Jackson, I cannot see it anything else but targeting the Jewish population. No one else in Jackson wants a dormitory. Am I wrong? There's no one else in Jackson wants a dormitory. And to say no dormitories, Jackson is almost 65,000 acres. Why can't we find some acre, a couple acres someplace and put up a dormitory? Why can we have rules on the books, very strong rules about dormitories, about schools. There's no reason for more laws. To me, this is an insult to myself and to my family and to my religion. And it also brings up the question, all the variances that come before the committee that gets turned down, why are you turning it down for? If it makes sense, pass it. Doesn't make sense, don't pass it. There's no reason for more laws. I think we have enough on the books. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Siglenda Rath, R-A-T-H, and I'm an associate with the law firm of Storzer & Associates, 1025 Connecticut Avenue, Washington, D.C., 20036. These proposed ordinances, 0317 and 0417, appear to be nothing more than veiled discrimination targeting a specific religious group in the area. In our opinion, adopting them would violate First Amendment and equal protection rights, as well as other laws that protect freedom of religion and religious practice, such as the Religious Land Use and Institutionalized Persons Act and the Fair Housing Act. Our Supreme Court has held that action that targets religious conduct for distinctive treatment cannot be shielded by mere compliance with the requirement of facial neutrality. Just because the ordinances nominally apply to all schools does not mean that they are legal. We urge the council to reject them.
My name is Chaim Bornstein, C-H-A-I-M-B-O-R-E-N-S-T-E-I-N.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, please?
Yes, my name is Chaim Bornstein, C-H-A-I-M-B-O-R-E-N-S-T-E-I-N. I live on 1 West Virginia in Jackson. I will be brief. There's a sign on County Line Avenue, which divides the Lakewood and Jackson borders. The sign boasts the Jackson motto, Jackson, a place for all seasons. I must admit, prior to my move to Jackson about a year ago, I had much greater concerns. Yes, Jackson does have more residential area than Lakewood. Yes, Jackson has far less traffic than Lakewood. Precisely the reasons, and I believe my colleagues as well, wanted to move to Jackson. We like the residential life. We enjoy normal zoning laws. But I had a bigger question before I moved here. Jackson has got more Jackson Strong signs than Jews in this entire township. So I wanted to know, would Jackson be a place for all people, let alone for all seasons? To my surprise, I must admit, I learned I would be welcome in Jackson. My neighbors, Rob, Dennis, constantly offer their helping hand. My wife became friends with the Latvian lady down the block, Ilona. My son became friends with her son, Ellis. When Halloween came around, not a particular Jewish holiday, I graciously gave candy to all the children, Mexican. When Veterans Day came around, I saluted the veteran vet on his big day. And when Yom Kippur came around, they both wished me happy Yom Kippur, my big day. Perhaps my friend Larry, who warmly greets me every Saturday afternoon on my trek to a synagogue in Lakewood, may I repeat that, on my synagogue to Lakewood, he greets me warmly and he says, "How's things? I wait the day which we can have a community barbecue, kosher food for the Jews, Eastern food for the Indians, and why can't we just all get along?" So I realized that Jackson, after all, is strong after all. Very strong, but strong in a sense of Americanism. Strong in the sense that although I may wear a black hat and another a white turban, we are strong enough to live with each other despite our great differences. However, the above-mentioned ordinances have an entirely different character. It supports Jackson Strong against our community. Its motive conveys a clear message to the public: Jews are not wanted in Jackson. Ordinances like these, which specifically target the youth of our communities, is insulting, it's non-Jackson-like, and it's frankly un-American. So concluding now, the question really remains, will Jackson live up to its own motto? Is Jackson a place for all seasons? Or has Jackson become Jackson Strong? I am confident that this great township and this great council, which our community supported in the past election, will abolish this ordinance and show us and show all the people of Jackson what Jackson really stands for: a place for synagogues, a place for schools, and truly a place for all seasons. Thank you.
My name is Yehuda E. Tomar, that's Y-E-H-U-D-A, middle initial E, Tomar, T-O-M-O-R. I live in 9 Harvest Court in Jackson. Good evening. I have come here to voice my concern over the ordinance that will prohibit dormitories in Jackson and change the ideas of permitted uses. I would like to address this with a total different approach. Please note that I am not here to attack the Township Council. Rather, the forces of influence that have influenced this ordinance to be brought here. I am a real right-wing conservative Republican. As there are town halls being filled up around our country, trying to bring a force of liberalism to our political system, we are different. We are filling up town hall to bring back the conservative views that are seemingly getting tarnished. This has nothing to do with Orthodox, Reform, Christian, or Hindu. This is our freedom at stake. You see, there's a movement currently out there. They call themselves the alt-right. In Jackson, they include a handful of individuals who continuously post insightful anti-Semitic comments on Facebook. I would explain this myself. However, Dan Schneider, the executive director of ACU, did an astounding job explaining them at the CPAC this Thursday. Alt-right is hijacking the term right. They ain't right at all, he explained. In politics, we tend to have the right and the left. The right has more individual freedom, more liberty, and less intrusive government. On the left, we have bigger, more intrusive government, and of course, less freedom and less liberty. The alt-right are just left-wing fascists who tend to use big government to impose their will on you, disregarding freedom and liberty. A few moments ago, we all stood respectively and pledged allegiance to the flag. And I hope we will remember the words we have said: indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Does anyone here know what the word liberty means? Let me tell you. Liberty, the state of being free within society from oppressive restrictions imposed by authority on one's way of life, behavior, or political views. Let me ask you, does this ordinance promote liberty? Or does this promote the left-wing fascist ideology that would like to use government to make it harder for Orthodox Jews to live in Jackson? Shockingly, even Democrats believe in liberty. They say, sure, you can pray. However, we'll tell you where you can pray. Any conservative Republican would say, if it's not bothering me, why would I care? Township Council, laws are currently in place to make sure there's no loss in quality of life. This ordinance is just extra government involvement to promote the alt-right agenda. My friends, religious liberty is not a privilege. It's part of our Constitution. When I went to the booth this November, I voted Republican. You know why? Because I believed in my party. Don't let those left-wing fascists influence you. Don't embarrass our party. Don't let us Republicans down. Well, now we're not voting on this ordinance, but if you would have voted on this ordinance, yes, it would show the alt-right agenda. We see the true colors. We see where the stance and understanding and liberty really rests, a place where no individual who prides himself as an American Republican would ever want to be seen within 100 miles. Well, if we pushed it off, which we did, it will really show that we don't know where we're holding. And, of course, if we say no, it would mean to all Jackson residents who have understanding in life, who are therefore naturally conservative Republicans, that our township council members are indeed true Republicans who will fight to promote liberty within our city and our nation. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Moshe Suissa, S as in Sam, U-I-S-S-A. I live on 3 Harvest Court, Harmony Farms, Jackson. To echo a previous speaker, I'm going to be very short in my remarks. To echo a previous speaker, I've been in Jackson since August. I've been very much accepted by the community. Just to give you 2 little very quick stories. One person who had a big Jackson Strong sign all over her lawn became one of my best friends upon our first talk. And she's the one who told all my neighbors that they're having a great neighbor coming onto their block. So she helped me actually introducing me to the community. A second very quick story was a lady who, when she saw my wife coming to see our house for the first time, she was walking her dog. She told her, go back to Lakewood. And when we moved onto the block, she was the first one to come and present us her entire family and bring us a gift. And I believe that this is the spirit around Jackson. Everybody's just human, and everybody's afraid of the unknown. But once we meet each other, we see that we have the same values. Regarding this ordinance, which hopefully will never come to fruition, I would like to express my outrage to this ordinance. I'm coming from a different perspective, maybe. I believe that by hindering the natural growth of the Jackson educational system, I think we're sending the wrong message to our children and to our youth. We have a beautiful youth, as we just saw, and we have to make them believe that they have a future and that higher education is valuable. I want my kids to grow up in a Jackson that's inclusive and know that Jackson values education, not that we're against it. I would therefore like to strongly urge all of you council members to help this resolution to not come to fruition. Thank you very much for considering our wishes. Have a good evening.
Mordechai Bernstein, M-O-R-D-E-C-H-A-I, Bernstein, B-U-R-N-S-T-E-I-N, 13, California. I wasn't planning on speaking. I didn't prepare any remarks. I just wanted to say about 6 months ago, I came to my first Jackson Council meeting, and then Council President was Council President Nixon, and I asked him, and I asked really the council, what could we as an Orthodox community do differently, and how could we sort of get rid of the tension that exists? And the answer that I received from the council president, and I think that was the answer I received from the other councilmen after, which some of them I've been honored to have a chance to speak to, is that it all starts in the grassroots, and it starts with meeting your neighbors, being friendly to your neighbors, and getting to know. It was before Hanukkah then, and that was the message that I was given. And the feeling among the Orthodox community, I think, is quite clear, is that we feel that the purpose of this ordinance was clearly to target us, and in a way to try to, obviously we value the Jackson quality of life, and that is the reason why almost every one of us moved here. And thanks God, Jackson has a zoning board, and I've been honored to actually meet some of the zoning members, and they're all quite honorable, contrary to what you read on Facebook. They're wonderful men, and we don't have a problem with any of them, and we actually respect the rule of law, and if someone wants to build a school, wants to build a dormitory, apply, and based on its own merits, let the zoning board make a educated, unbiased decision. But to go ahead and make a law banning schools and banning dormitories, we feel divides us and goes backwards in the steps that we have gone forward in the last a little over a year that the Orthodox community really started moving in, and really rewinds the progress which was made. So again, I ask on behalf of myself, if the council can please reconsider this. Don't even bring it up in the next, or vote it down. It's something which is going to create a level of tension in the community. We feel targeted, and there really is no reason for such an ordinance.
After you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Joseph Sullivan, 31 Kathy with the C Court in Jackson. I know every member of this council. These are honorable ladies and gentlemen. There is not a racist bone in any one of their bodies. There is not an anti-religious bone in any one of their bodies. They are the most welcoming group of people, educated group of people, and honorable group of people I have met in government. And to my friends in the Orthodox community, I welcome you. Everyone in Jackson welcomes you. This dormitory ordinance is not meant to target you. This ordinance is something that a suburban community not equipped to handle large facilities like this, or to handle these kind of facilities being put into buildings that were not equipped to handle them. So this ordinance is a sound ordinance that makes sense, and it was not aimed at just Orthodox. It is aimed at not allowing what we've seen in other towns, where they would build dormitories and buildings substandard, fire breaks out, and God forbid you lose life. We don't want that here. We don't want to see anybody die. We don't want to see anybody hurt. This ordinance is sound. I support it. I think the majority of people in this town would support it, and I think if my friends on the other side of the other opinion would think about it, the ordinance makes sense. So thank you very much, and once again, thank you for serving our community.
Greetings. Bob Skinner, 404 Larkspur Lane. I'm just going to make an observation, and that is this. I work in New York. I've got a huge Jewish clientele. So let's not go there, okay? I will say that being an Ocean County resident for a long time, most of my life, with the exception of 1 year, I've seen a lot of changes in Jackson, and I've seen a lot of changes in Lakewood. Now, when I go into Lakewood, I see overpopulation, I see overbuilding, I see no regard to building, and I see a hell of a lot of traffic, okay? There's double bus routes. There is all kinds of alleged things going on over there. I can only tell you, not from a religious bias perspective, but from my own perspective, thinking in a very civilized manner, I don't want that coming here. So if you can figure out a way of getting it to work here, I think the residents would be more than happy to welcome it. But to use that religious bias thing is getting really old, and it's unacceptable. So if you want to talk about feeling slapped in the face. Well, I feel slapped in the face as well. Thank you. I feel slapped in the face as well because of the fact that, like I've said, I have no religious bias. I have absolutely no reason to have religious bias. And like I said, when I see what's going on next door, it makes me really cringe. It makes me rather worried about what could be happening. And it has absolutely nothing to do with religion. It has everything to do with overbuilding, overpopulation, overbusing, and all the traffic that goes with it. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Jim Bezanson, 12 Melissa Lee Drive, Jackson. Mostly what I'm hearing tonight is that people choose to move to Jackson because of its strong neighborhood sense, the idea of a strong community, and the residential nature of what we have here, what's been here, and that's what I see this ordinance simply trying to preserve. This is a residential community with a strong sense of neighborhood, and that's what it's all about, is keeping that tenor for this town. Once again, that's why people are moving here. I've heard that from multiple people tonight. They're coming here for that reason, and to come here for that reason and then think that it's necessary to change it doesn't make any sense to me. So I agree with the ordinance, and I hope you guys approve it. Thank you.
Good evening. Avi Schnall, AVI-SCHNALL. I wasn't planning on speaking, but obviously I'm here. I'm here because I heard something which struck a nerve. And I'm going to address it. Because if I wouldn't, I'd be remiss. We are well aware of the incidents surrounding our state, of the incidents that took place yesterday morning in Cherry Hill, of the incidents that took place yesterday in New York City, and the incidents that took place in 20 locations throughout the country. So no one should ever stand up and say that religious discrimination is old and is getting tired, because unfortunately it's not old and it's not tired. This township has many areas that are heavily commercial. There are shops, there are stores, there are large strip malls, there are large fairways. They are by no means considered residential neighborhoods. No one is claiming we should take and build monster buildings, we'll call them, and place them right in the backyards of residents. No one is claiming that. No one wants that. No one is asking for that here tonight. Not one member of the over 100 people that decided tonight, at probably the worst time for family men, and you can all agree to that, at 7:30 to leave their houses and spend over an hour's time tonight in the township because they just wanted to have a good time. They came tonight for a reason, because they feel affronted. They feel, the residents of this town feel, that this ordinance does single them out, and it does. No one outside of the Orthodox community is even contemplating the concept of building a school. And I know that. I called the Catholic conference. I asked them, are you guys building a school in Jackson? They said, we wish we could build a school. No one is contemplating. I called independent schools. Carol Everett, they asked, are you building a school here? No, not us. I called the Muslim Association. Are you building a school? No, not us. No one is building a school here. I'll conclude. There's a way to make this work for everybody. There's a way that everybody could agree to a proper ordinance to maintain the beautiful quality of life, which attracted so many people to move here, which attracted so many people to stay here, which attracted people for many generations to be here. We want to maintain that. We should maintain that. This ordinance does not maintain that. It is way, way, way above and beyond, and it's hurtful. Thank you.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Motion to close the meeting?